Hey guys, what's up, how you doing, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another game of Third Age Total War Reforged Lord of the Rings mod for Medieval 2 Total War. Sorry about the long time since uploads. I've been having exams and stuff like that to do and all of that jazz. But this is a fun battle that I had. It's not necessarily close at the end, like, well, you'll see what happens as it happens, but I wouldn't really say it was that close. But let's go through the army comp, starting with my army. For this I'm playing as Umbar, and for starters I have 2 units of Corsair crossbows. Not the most survivable crossbow unit, because they have very low armor values, but crossbows, their stopping power will be very valuable. And because they can be hidden, they're actually very hard to skirmish with, because you can't really see them to shoot at them, which is a massive problem. I believe his name's 𝔽𝕒𝕒, but yeah, I've got him in. I've got my general in the 𝔽𝕒𝕒𝕣 Royal Guard. These guys just an overall incredible. Sorry about the cough, I'm just recovering from a bit of an illness. I have some nice 𝔽𝕒𝕒𝕣 Royal Guard here. Just very good missile infantry, able to tank so much of enemy ammunition and actually dish out a bit of damage themselves. On top of that, that shield they have on their back, they pull out in melee, and they become spears in melee. So they're tanky melee as well. So these guys are very useful. Over here I have a unit of Corsair Blackguards. Just not really cheap, but just have a unit of AP javelins to just either just trying to throw into the flank. These guys can get so much damage done if they get good shots off. 3 units of Elrond's Legion, basically Umbar's basic sword and board infantry, albeit it severely outclasses many of what other kingdoms of men and orcs were able to bring. However, I'm going up against Imladris today, and they have a very elite army, so these guys, they're good on paper, but they should do alright. That's the only thing I'm really going to say about this. 2 units of a 𝔽𝕗𝟗 Shield Guard. Their locked morale is going to be invaluable, as is the 𝔽𝕗𝕗𝕗 Guards' locked morale. These guys will just stay around and fight forever. Well, they have to be killed to the last man, at the very least. And since there's 142 of them in each unit, and they have pretty good shield and arm values, archers aren't going to be great at killing them off, and they can just hold the line in melee. So they're going to be a very useful tool for me to have in this defense, because I'm going up against Elrond. So I'm going up against Imladris, and they can actually wield a fairly devastating archer force. With my 2 units of pikes, I'm just holding them back. You know, they're heavily armoured. I don't really want them going up against stuff like Elrond, Osh, and God Halim. Purely because, like, better guy and pikemen, they'll get wrecked by arrowfire. I haven't given them the armour upgrade, I don't think. I could be very wrong, but I don't think I am. And then the 𝔽𝕗𝕗𝕗 Sentinel is just basically one of the best pike units in the game. Only 1 hit point, but with that shield and their heavy armour, they're actually fairly resilient to archers, which basically just means that they're so much more effective. You have the 𝔽𝕗𝕗𝕗 Lancers, so basically if they do break through this defense here, if you're familiar with the map, you'll know that I'm going to have back here to fall back to. And these guys, basically, they can just terrorize the elves while they try and marshal their might through here if they break through. So yeah, they're going to be a very useful asset. Harbingers of Casner. I haven't made this general's unit, so I can use them much more freely. These guys just two-handed swordsman, very strong. And I don't... Yeah, N6 bloody blah. Sorry, I would try and say that name, but N657700952. I'll just call you 65, I guess. So yeah, I mean 65 here, he doesn't have any bodyguard tier units, which means that very few things they have other than their Eldar inlay, which will still lose to these Harbingers of Castamere because that second hit point can really stand up to them. Valiketh Axgard as well for that AP crunch. I don't really want to go up against Imladris without some sort of AP unit, and these guys, they just fulfill that role perfectly. It won't be as useful against stuff like Spears of Rivendell, but if I can get them in amongst the Eldar Rinway, they can crack some elven skulls. And then back here on my final stand, if I need it, I have 2 units of Corsair Fencers. Assassin class units, AP at range, AP at melee. Just very good units. Just very good melee as well. So even if you do manage to get these guys into melee, they will still manage to beat the brakes off of many lower tier units, as well as some lower tier units that rely on armor. That stuff like them that aren't quite as, well, that aren't AP wouldn't really be able to deal with as well. But anyway, on to 65's army. N65, let's call it. 3 units of Eldar and archers, one of them is the general's unit. Very scary skirmish force, but I mean, I'm very scared if he chooses the correct targets. However, my Nora Royal Guard, if he decides to sink all his ammo into them, especially when they're in loose formation, they will be loving this if the other way do decide to skirmish with them. 3 units of Eldar Way Spearmen. Oh wait, these guys are also pretty good units in melee. They will be able to beat stuff like Belagaya Pikemen if we lose my formation here. Over time they'll beat stuff like Corsair Blackguards and Duneheim Shield Guard. Potentially, I think the Duneheim Shield Guard may just slightly have the skill advantage, but they certainly don't over this unit, the Eldar Inway Spearmen. Once again, 3 units of these. He's going very high and very far into the red on all of his Eldar Inway units, which it's a bit of a rookie mistake. It perhaps shows that he's not that advanced at the game. He doesn't really know what to buy and use efficiently. It's basically on these, we were playing with I want to say 14k funds. He was hosting, so yeah. I think we were playing 14k funds. I mean, he's burnt a lot of stuff on Eldar Way. Whereas a more experienced player would have gone for, yes, he would have gone for the 2 units of Eldar Way Spearmen and Eldar Way Swordmasters. Like, he would have gone for these 4. But he would have also gone for stuff like the Imladris units and maybe a couple more of the Legolas Rivendell units to pad out his numbers. But as it stands, I massively outnumber him. Anyway, these guys, they'll be able to beat the brakes off of stuff like a Duneheim Shield Guard fairly easily. It will be a long fight, but the Eldar and Wasteman will win in that fight. Same thing against stuff like Halcron's Legion. main way I'm really going to be able to deal with these guys is really AP, high damage AP, high damage in general, or missile units. Stuff like crossbows and javelins, which I do have units of. 2 units of Eldar, but yeah, very scary units. 2 units of Eldar and Swordmasters as well. The very damaging two-handed sword unit. They will definitely be able to chop through stuff like Halcronus, Legion, Corsair, Blackguards. Not the Adunam Shield Guard because they are very tanky, but they'll be able to very efficiently slog through whatever I throw at them. But due to the fact they don't have any shields, they're going to be fairly weak to missile fire, especially from javelins and crossbows if I can get them into the correct positions. These guys won't really be able to use their effectiveness. And ultimately, he's gone into the red on 4 units here. 2 into the red on Eldar Runway, which means he's Eldar Runway archers. Which probably means that he spent about 1,500 on each of them at the very least. Maybe 1,800. Probably about 1,300 on each of the Eldar Runway spearmen. And similar for the Eldar Runway Swordmasters. But one place where quality very much doesn't show is just the force that's meant to stop me from crossing the bridge over here and flanking around this small Eldar Runway elite force here. And that force is the Spears of Rivendell. I believe these guys are AP polearms, but ultimately if I can surround them and they don't get their polearms down, they'll die very quickly. But they can dish out some damage. Unless, I mean, the units they're going up against, they're not going to be the greatest against, and we will be able to beat them fairly efficiently, but these guys can, if they get into the right situation, they will be able to get a good amount of kills. They'll probably be able to kill at the very least a unit of Valaket Baxguard, I'd say. But without further ado, let us begin. And instantly you can see that I'm just moving up my Norinari guard. I don't want N65 to see my Corsair crossbows. If he sees these guys, it's probably going to be game over for me. Because these are pretty much, I mean, pikes and, like, this small force over here, these 3 units. These units are pikes because he doesn't have any pikes, and these are really what will win me the game if I win. And the javelins, if I lose the Corsair crossbows, he can fairly efficiently deal with these, and if he does so, and no god for that matter, he can deal with these guys fairly efficiently. But you've already seen that these guys have managed to tank artillery from both units of Eldar Runway archers and well, that's 2 odd bodies in. They've lost both. They're outnumbered. That just shows the tanky nature. Also, the fact that the Eldar Runway will switch into fire arrows, which sort of baffles me, because he's not going to rout what God. They're unbreakable. So all you're doing is making these guys less accurate. However, I do realise that he is actually managing to torch cut my Corsair crossbows here. So I am trying to move my Norinari guard up slightly, so that any that miss don't actually hit my Corsair crossbows. Because the more of these guys I can have to fire in the late game, the better really. But yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a waste from N65. Yet again, another hint that he's maybe a newer player. He's just sinking 2 units of Eldar Runway archer ammo into a unit of heavily armoured archers in loose formation, using fire arrows on a unit that can't actually be routed. And the fact he's gone for a pretty much solely 𝔽𝕒𝕒 build. He's moving a unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archers over here just to make sure don't try any funny business moving across the bridge. He's done the right thing here. He's made it. I mean, if I was him, I'd try and push up a bit closer to the bridge, like try and get to here. But the point is, he's got these guys into a nice formation. It's not going to be easily buckled by a mass push. The fact he has archers support means that I would be loath to go across that bridge anyway, even in the best of times. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand. Yes, I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win this gunfight, right? Like, I'm probably not gonna get many kills. However, the fact that he's spent so much on 3 units of archers means that. I mean, these guys don't even have to get. Like, they don't have to kill this unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archers. I mean, like, these guys have already actually probably been fairly cost effective. Because with all of these, their ammo in this situation is probably about worth 1,000, maybe 1,100 of their value. So what's happened is we've managed to get some kills off on 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archers. This unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archers has lost 9 men, which isn't the most, but it's used all of its ammo. This unit, for some weird unknown reason, is trying to move closer. But I'm moving forward a unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 Legion just to make sure that they don't actually spot my unit of Corsair crossbows. So if they do, it would be disastrous. Yeah, these guys, and at this point he realises, hang on, my archers aren't doing what I need them to. I mean, ultimately, what I would have done is, you have to send in everything if you're doing this. You're gonna have to break through quickly. It's gonna require a mass push. And as you can see, my archers they're still doing it. Like, yes, they're not getting kills the fastest, but they are getting kills. And they managed to tank best part of 2 units of archer ammo at this point. And they've lost 50 men, is it? Yeah, they've lost 54 men. Ultimately, this one unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 Legion is not going to hold back this massive 𝔽𝕒𝕒, which is why I'm having to send up more units to support. Unfortunately, I couldn't get these guys into an adequate position to fire. It's unfortunate, but these things happen. And I mean, like, now he's arcing his shots off. All that's going to happen is he's going to get less and less kills per ball. And I'm all for that. These guys have not lost many men in the last, well, not long. But the point is, he's wasted a unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archer ammo, especially at the amount he paid for it. It was not worth it. Now he's moving over this unit of 𝔽𝕒𝕒 archers over here. And like, realising he's I'm going to need more support over here. So if I can just force through here, I can just get into the archers or something. Wrap round the line. You can see here I'm sending in my first unit of the mods, you know, the shield guards. Because yeah, I mean like Elrond is doing a lot of damaging, but like Elrond is sword masters, I just need to be able to unfold. Also, even though Elrond spins it will take them a while, but they will be slogans. Like they'll take a fair few casualties, but yeah, burn through 2 units of Elven Archer. This is when I decide to reveal. And just, well, say bye-bye to that unit. I think at that point I decided to stop just from over here to go with my Corsair Blackguards. I realise he's really trying to push through this kind of outpost legion. I decided to be Malekith Axe Guard over here just to you know, be annoying, get some good damage off with them, because these guys will be able to get damage down. The problem I have with this is Elrond, they're killing, and they're not finding us. This unit of Elrond the archers, that's still 1 unit with ammo. Again, these are just to kill. At this point I realise, hang on, this over here is looking a bit thin, so I think I send these guys over. I'm not scared of this incursion because I know just pull this unit out here, send this unit in, and flank around the outside. But then he decides to start shooting my carbon into the castle. Which, if I do say so myself, is a bit rude. However, yeah. Corsair Blackguards with this angle. Oh. So yeah, that's what I was saying about. What if I can get these lads up into a nice position? I just stop. Yeah, I did. So I mean, like, these guys.
Praise to our Lord. Our men have slain the enemy general.
I don't think I was really
men will lose heart.
That. I think I just saw the unit of archers and was like, hang on, I don't really want to deal with that. Then my Corsair Blackguards ran out of ammo. Now at this point, I didn't really need them on the front line. Like, I committed my 9 to this point, all I need to just hold. I'm getting some 9 sentinels in there. Pikes will be able to beat that. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. These guys, they would have quite possibly, they would have lost. They would have inflicted so many casualties because of the as it stands, these guys lost a lot of men off the charge and as you can see, again, surrounded. As you can see, I mean, we very nearly have the full surround off. When we get to that, it's going to be fairly short. Like I see, these guys are dying so quick. I think it almost would have been better for him to try and go for a nice long line. guys to just, yeah. I'm just trying to deal with this unit of archers. Because I just don't like the fact they have archers left. Eventually I decided to move these down because my line's looking a bit thin.
Only half the enemy force remains.
But I mean, like, yeah, from the fact, I mean, if I was him, at the very least, you should send some support over. He's lost 4 Balaketh Axe Guard and, well, I lost about 8 men in that engagement. Indeed, yeah, if you look here, just look at the sheer amount of dead bodies of the elves. These guys could have been so useful in this assault over here. Like, no joke, if they got a unit like this...
Battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
Even now, right? And I have crossbows up here, so that if I get a good couple of bodies into the backs of these guys, that can quickly change. But I mean, like, the gold front line is just eating away at my black front line. Like, black armor is, and they're round the flank of my I'm having to hold the line with my generals, which isn't the greatest. However, what it does on, what it did on, is incredibly shocking flank these guys. Otherwise, I would have just sent in, you know, better guy a pikeman and just be like, oh no, you don't. Yeah, no, send these guys dead. Yeah, we lose this one. Actually, I don't know. There are lots of the units that are left. Oh. Yeah, their last unit of archers got resistance to melee.
The battle is in our favor.
And
if we remain true and wholehearted,
that's when I decided to commit my crossbows to just shoot them. And it takes a lot to wave with the other ones. But I mean, like, getting crossbows, shot by crossbows in the back. You can just see how much damage it's causing. 25 Elder only saw massive break. That actually causes a mass rout. I think there might be like very few, might be a few elves somewhere. Yeah, while these lads just run away, I'm just shooting. Sazon, by the way I said, the less elves,
by the victory we have won
less elves that live better, sure. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, like, yeah, it didn't really go as well for him as he probably would have liked. The fact I had AP's counter really wouldn't have helped. And also the fact he spent 2 units of elven archers trying to kill off these guys and they couldn't even do it. Which just shows off as an homage to the tanky nature of the Narnar Royal Guard. They don't deal damage, but they just hold. I mean, like, as you can see, these guys, they only got 23 kills, right? But the sheer amount of punishment they took on the chin from the archers was just so important. Harbingers of Castamere getting 50 kills, not the greatest, but I did save them as a rear guard, so I mean, like, yeah, just they didn't really get committed that early on because I didn't feel like I had to. I mean, if they started making real ground, which it did look like they were in danger of over here, but by that point I'd already managed to clear off over here. I got some javelin shots and I got crossbows up there. And it was all going my way by the time they managed to get around the flank. They got around the flank on my terms because I was able to shoot them in the back. Corsair Blackguards with 129 kills, very good for them. 170 kills on the Corsair Crossbows and 87, respectively. Very, very good for them. They lost 10 and 6 men each. They're very good if used them correctly. Better Guy Pikemen didn't get committed. Our Sentinels took 4 losses, 46 kills. Balaketh Axe Guard, not doing the greatest, but they did still get some good number of kills. Especially against stuff like Eldar and Way and stuff, you know. You're not going to get the most kills purely because of their tanky nature. Genome Shield Guard didn't do the best, but they held, like, I committed them fairly early on, maybe about the 4k frame mark. They survived 9,000 frames, and one of them had about 30 men left, and the other one, which was committed, survived about 8,000 frames, and had 99 men left. So yeah, Elrond's Legion also doing fairly well for themselves. Of course, their fencers didn't see the light of battle, but again, I mean, like, all of these units, they did what they had to do. If I didn't have these guys at the rear, and this unit of cav and a unit of pikes that I could have fallen back, if they did actually manage to break through and my crossbows were overrun, or they shot my crossbows to smithereens, so I didn't really have anything that could actually deal with them, this could have been a very different battle. Like, they could have easily bulldozed their way through this front line. But because I managed to get these crossbows into such good positions to rain down carnage on them, it did not go well for them. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. It's free and it helps out a ton. Leave a comment to show your support. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.